put the buttons you have in there. And here's some for you.
Father, this is your classroom, and you're working with something as simple as buttons.
Yes, we're arranging taking the buttons out the piles in different colors, and then I wanted to get the children to get the different way that they could classify the buttons by size, shape, color.
You gonna do yellow too? Hakeem, why don't you get
The number of holes.
Right, the number of holes, right.
The big ones.
The
Here, I have
shininess.
one more container. You can get all the buttons
The
that
children
are shiny.
also
Get all the shiny buttons.
classify the buttons on their own sometimes. We have containers where they have like different compartments, and they will put maybe the color in or the number of holes into a container.
You like that one?
I was glad to see these because they're very simple materials. They're easily obtainable, and yet they are the kinds of things that children find sufficiently interesting to work with.
Okay.
She has yellow. She finding some yellow for you, little diamond. How many did you end up with? Here's another one. Look at this one now. You don't like those?
You
Which
have
one?
these out on a shelf for them
Yes,
to go
they're
pick
on the
up and
shelf with the rest of materials, and they can come at will to pick these things and play with them either as a group or by themselves. A lot of times when one child takes something out, the other kids come in and join.
Like that?
Well, in this experience, you're suggesting the categories that the children use to classify, but when they do it on their own, they make their own decisions.
Right.
Zandria, you look like you have a lot of different colors in yours. Are there any buttons with 2 holes in here?
Because when children begin to classify, they can put things into one category and then sort of lose track, and the next thing you know, they've got them in another category, and then it's another category. But that's part of the learning experience.
There's a red 2-hole button. Do you have
And
any
with the buttons, they come in a wide variety, so they have that opportunity to do that classification in all those different ranges.
Which one? Which one? The white ones? These 3 white ones? How many?
And this was another activity that these children stayed with quite a long time.
The half one? Okay.
We only have a very small piece of it here.
Right.
Shape. Can you tell me what shape, how this one is different from the other button?
It seems like some things hold their interest more
What are the other shapes of the
when they're involved in a big group, and sometimes some things hold their interest less when they're in a big group, but it just was something with the buttons, you know.
Are there any
I'd just like to sort of summarize some of the things when we talk about classification that children can classify. We had color. This is right now we're looking at children classifying according to color.
Right.
So they can classify according to size, shape, pattern, texture, function. You know how things are used, association, how things go together. Classes, whether it's animal or vegetable, all of these things that children, anything that the children can think of,
Right.
can be the basis of classification.
That's one way the children put their toys away at the end of the day, you know. They put all the zoo animals in a container, they put all the farm animals in a container, and they put the cylinder blocks in one area, and they match the pictures up to wherever they got the object from.
Because this is part of the way that the teachers help organize the environment to make this kind of learning possible. And I believe we do have a shot later. Well, you can see a little bit of that now, the way that the room is organized. But we do have another shot later where we do see the illustration of what you're just telling us now.
Here it looks like she's just classifying all the colors, the yellow, because she took the big Lego blocks out and put them with the yellow waffle blocks that she got from the small container.
This was her yellow day.
Yes.
Do you find, Shannon and Jenny, do you have children who do similar things also in your classrooms in terms of taking materials out and classifying them?
Oh, definitely. We have a large bin of tiny dinosaur figurines of all different species, and the children love to sort them. They take them out, and sometimes they'll sort them by species, sometimes they'll sort them by, these are carnivores and, these are herbivores. They don't use those words, but they understand that dinosaurs eat different things, and they're constantly sorting those. And they do that with the animals. Like you mentioned, we have farm animals and zoo animals and marine animals, and it's sort of a natural thing for them to do. They don't need to be told or even prompted to sort. It just happens spontaneously.
Yes, during cleanup, I find a lot of that. In the block area, we have foam blocks of shapes, triangles, circles, rectangles, squares. And I have one certain little boy that whenever he cleans up the foam blocks, he categorizes by shape. All the triangles are together, all the squares. And then I have another little one. When he cleans up, he sorts them by color, because they're color foam blocks. So everyone has their own way of doing it.
All right. I thought this was interesting because this was a transition. They were going to the bathroom?
Right, they were going to the bathroom to get ready for a snack. And we decided that we would go to the bathroom a different way, because sometimes we play games, different games. So this game, we played classifying them with what they were wearing.
This is the scene that I mentioned, where you can see the shapes or pictures on the shelves, and the children are putting things away according to how the teacher has organized the environment. And that is another way that helps children to learn to classify.
It helps to organize also.
Yes, it keeps the room in a little bit of order, right?
Right.
I think it makes cleanup easier, too.
Yes, it
Because
does.
they know where things belong.
Mm-hmm.
They also know where to find things.
Right. Sometimes we do have some children that kind of get a little mixed up, but I find that our children work together pretty good too to help them, put them in the containers they belong in.
There was one activity that I've seen in many classrooms that we just didn't happen to get here, and that was the use of dramatic play kits, where you put together all similar items like a birthday party thing or a store or a shoe store, and that's another way of helping children to classify. I don't know if any of you have used those.
Well, we make our own, like dramatic play kits.
Good.
We get parents to volunteer different equipment, not equipment as much as materials, whereas we can put on different activities. One of our activities, the children did the props. They went to Jamaica, so everybody got together and they painted trees and things like that, and things that we needed to go to prepare for the Jamaica trip. But it was just a pretend trip, but we had people really believing that we were going to Jamaica.
Again, classifying, putting the things into some kind of a category.
Right.
Okay, great. All right, now we're going to look